My name is Mladen Kovačević and I'm the director of the film Unplugged. It was a film I made 11, almost 12 years ago, and I will try to recollect as much as I can about it. How did I find such unusual characters? It did take some research, several months of research. I had help from the professors at the university. There is a department for the musicology and ethnology. I even forgot which department it was, but probably from both, and but mainly these musicologists that were researching the old ways of playing music or ethnic music, and trying to record them before it was lost, had some database and even recordings of some of these characters, but for most of them leaf wasn't the main instrument. They could play leaf besides some other instruments that they played, and so at the beginning I managed to find the 3 characters. And they're all old people, because it's art that is disappearing. I don't believe that we will have many leaf players in the future here in Serbia. And so one of them died just before we started the shoot, so there was only 2 characters left. And Josip, he didn't play the leaf, but he played 20-something other instruments. He seemed interesting enough as a character, so I decided to get in touch with him and ask him would he actually be interested to learn to play the leaf as well, because it just felt that he's trying to learn as many instruments as possible. And of course he accepted the challenge. That's how I came to have these 3 characters in the film. Did the main character and the other characters know each other before the film? Well, no. That was the whole. That was one aspect of this film. This little dramatic tension that they are actually getting to know each other in the film, and so this whole quest of Josip to find people who could teach him how to play the leaf was. I guess more interesting because he didn't know these characters before. Knowing Josip, if he knew them before, he would ask them to teach him how to play the leaf before the film was shot, and then the whole this dramatic tension of whether or not would he learn how to play the leaf wouldn't work. That was the whole idea, that he would explore this craft of leaf playing in the film itself. Well, it was a straightforward collaboration. I got to know them, and they were interested to show to present themselves, their everyday lives and also their craft of leaf playing to the audiences. They probably saw that I was very sincerely interested in what they're doing. Important thing about this first part of the question, did Josip did he learn how to play the leaf before the film? He actually never learned how to play the leaf, not in the film, not even after the film. He gave up on that because the leaf playing, it seems very simple, but it's a very complicated craft, and it takes months probably even years just to learn how to control the airflow to produce the correct tones. Everybody can make a sound with a leaf, but actually to carry out the melody, it's a very complicated thing. And then of course you have all these other elements, the leaf needs to be the right kind, the time of the year needs to be the right time of the year. You can't play if the leaves are if it's not spring or summer, if they're not flexible enough or just proper for leaf playing. So it was a hard thing to do, and Josip, the guy who plays 20-something instruments, gave up on playing the leaf. I didn't spend much time with the characters before the shoot. I saw them several times. I think it's very difficult for the characters, once they show you and tell you stuff about themselves, to kind of repeat it in front of the camera. They feel as if they're repeating themselves in front of you. And so I like to keep it as fresh as possible. I would just get hints of what could be happening and then start shooting as soon as possible. And how much did the shooting take place? Actually, I don't remember, but not too long. Not too long, a couple of weeks. I never had too many shooting days. Well, about the sound guy, it just felt very natural that since we are making a film about music about sounds, that the sound recording is very important aspect of the film. I wanted to draw attention to that aspect of the film, and I also felt that even visually, this microphone that is pointing toward the mouth and the leaf that is being held and kind of almost hidden with the hands, because that's how they hold the leaf, would also help even visually in some of these scenes. So I had this idea before. I was just waiting for the right moment to give a hint to the DOP, Pablo Ferro, to turn the camera towards the sound guy, Ivan. And when the moment felt right, we actually recorded it, and then from then on it was easy to include him in the film. Also, Ivan, the guy who recorded the sound, he's a musician, and he knows all these melodies that these characters are playing, these old folk melodies. So he would occasionally even remind them about these melodies by whistling, and so in a way he was a minor character in the film. I thought it would be interesting to try to make a very serious film about a topic that is not too serious, and I knew the result would be somewhat offbeat and probably even comical. And so this is something I was ready for before we started shooting. Other than that, it was very observational style of filmmaking, even though camera was kind of very present there. Occasionally the characters, it would move from this observational style into something more poetic, and even the characters directly addressing not audience, but these were situations that were borderline interviews, but not really. So it was kind of, I would say, in terms of style, it was much more eclectic than my other films, and because the idea was, as I said before, to kind of communicate this offbeat aspect, but also the important aspects of leaf playing, like the fact that it's so hard to learn, that there are no shortcuts in life, even with the thing like leaf playing. So I kind of let myself be quite free with the style of the film. And at the end, I must say, I mean, I always thought that since the moment I made this film, that it was an imperfect little film, but there was something to it, and I guess that's the reason why people keep showing it this many years after it was premiered.